Scrabby Peep, Suzanna here today for a cherry on top, and I am sharing with you this Boho Baby layout that I created about my husband going back to the office for the first time. So yes, I am using a baby themed layout and repurposing it for something else. And I love the color palette in this collection. Absolutely, absolutely love it. And so I only ordered a few pieces because I don't have babies anymore. I have a 15 and 19-year-old baby. And I wanted the colors and to see if I could make it work. And then if I could make it work, then maybe I will add a few more pieces. So you can see the two pieces that I got. I got the tags. I always buy, I'm a sucker for the Simple Stories tags. I absolutely love them. And so I have two smaller square photos. They're 2 by 2. And I decided that I could cover up the, in this case, 10 months and 12 months with those small photos, and they would be the perfect way of incorporating more photos into the layout. So I am going to, my plan is to use the stencil to create a bit of a background so that I have more color and texture in my page. What I'm debating is I want the colors in the collection as the rainbows, because I really love that rainbow pattern paper. But do I really want to get that messy and watercolor through the stencil and wait for each one to dry? Or do I want to just go ahead and do tone on tone? So I opt for a kind of a tone on tone because I'm going to use Vicki Boutin's iridescent glaze. It's a texture paste, and that is what I'm going to do through the stencil behind those tags. I know I want to do one or two of the rainbows up the top as well. So I've got the basic format of how this is going to get laid out, which gives me a better idea of where I want to use the texture paste. I want to matte the photo. I feel like it needs just a hint more pink or something, one of the warmer colors. So here I have a scrap of, that's just regular cardstock, but it's a little too pink for the pink that's in the color collection. I just can't off the top of my head think of anything that's in my stash that is going to coordinate with that. So I'm going to go with that for now. So I adhere everything down because, again, I know I want to do some texture paste on top of that pattern paper there in the top left-hand corner. Just a few of the rainbows, maybe cloud or two, to match with the background that I'm going to put behind the tags at the bottom there. I know I want to put a tag up the top as well. I just have to figure out the orientation of that, but I will figure that out coming up. So this is pixie tape from ThermoWeb. This is super awesome repositionable tape for holding stencils down. You can use the pixie spray as well, but I am using, I like the tape because I don't have to wait for the pixie spray to dry. So again, this is the Vicki Boutin iridescent glaze, and that is going to just provide some texture and dimension as well as pattern to this bottom right corner here. It is it's so cool, so very cool. So many of you are going to call me behind, and I am a little bit behind the times in regards to Nouveau drops. So I have just bought from a cherry on top as well 3 of the white drops. So I got a clear one that looks the same color, kind of this ivory, shimmery ivory, and then just white drops. And I was thinking if I had like one of the colors that are in this, a navy or a green, they would make really, really cool dots within these rainbows, just like I have. So unfortunately, I have yet to grow my Nouveau color palette, but just something, a word of advice or something for you to try, and then show me how it looks. Maybe using the Nouveau drops in this stencil, I think would be super, super cool. You don't even have to use it in the stencil, but within the rainbow themselves to put the Nouveau drops where the drops actually are in the rainbow or in one of the on top of the texture paste. How cool would that be? So I can't wait for my new colors to arrive. I've already ordered a whole bunch of Nouveau drops. So I am impatient, you know that, and so I am not going to wait for this to dry. I'm going to go ahead and work over it. One of the bonuses of the Vicky Bouton is that it does dry very quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere these down, just staggered a little bit, and then cover up the months because, again, they are not relevant to the topic. I kept getting paste on my hands, and I needed to make sure that I got it off my hands because otherwise I would smear it all over the page. So this page is Michael's first trip back to the office. And as you can see in that top left picture there, it was barren. There was like nobody else there, which is just sad to me because this campus was designed to hold like 10,000 people. And yeah, nobody has to go back to the office. Everybody can work from home, which is great for them. But I don't understand why they're still paying. Anyway, none of my business. So you can see I changed out the paper that's framing that main photo there. I have in my stash some simple stories that's just sort of textured cardstock. It's not even textured, it's just patterned cardstock, I should say. So it's pink on one side and gray on the other. And I want to say there's maps on it. It came from, I don't even know what it is. Anyway, it's from my stash. And so I liked the warmer color of that, the less bright of the pink. And so I changed out the frame. I want some hidden journaling here, not because I want to actually hide the journaling so much as it would take away from the design. I didn't leave that as factor that into the design element of the page. And so I will cover up those baby bits with just actually a Project Life card. Again, old stash. And so I will cover that up so that Michael can journal about his experience returning to the office for their first day, which when you see in the close-ups, I'm still waiting for that to happen. And I had to take the card back from him, which was the reminder that that was what he needed to do because I needed to photograph it. So there we go. So there's the main construct of the layout. Now I just want to add a few embellishments to it. So I really like these colored rainbows. So actually I lied earlier, not intentionally. There are 3 pieces of pattern paper that I ordered. So I also have this particular one. And so I want to intersperse some of these actual colored rainbows with the texture paste rainbows that I put through the stencil that comes with or is part of the collection there. I love that Simple Stories has also released, is starting to release or has been releasing stencils with their collections as well, because I like that little bit of mixed media. I'm not a huge mixed media gal, but I do like that little bit. So for embellishments for this, I knew that the bulk of the actual Simple Stories Boho Baby collections embellishments were not going to work for me. So you can, I did get the puffy stickers, but I did also get those. Did you see the, I've already put them on the page. Those are definition phrases from Heidi Swap. The color palette works really well with the color palette in Boho Baby. So I put Bring It On is the black sticker that's above the square photo. And then the 2 at the top one says, just go with it. And then the other one says, enjoy the now. So just little support phrases to the occasion that is happening in the photos there. So just going with a few more of the generic and less baby related stickers, stars, sunshine, and fun things like that. So coming up next, I am going to see the dark tag with the stars on it that says Shine Bright, and I really need a little bit more color balance at the bottom right of the page. So I'm going to put all of these lovely goodies down, and then I'm going to shift everything on the bottom left-hand side of the page. So in a second, you're going to see me, oh, that would be a perfect balance, right? Doesn't it look, it ties the left-hand side of the page into the right-hand side of the page. So we're going to go with a shift. And it all works out well. I am going to stitch. I'm going to go to my sewing machine, and you're going to see a fine white line down the left-hand side of the star border. on the left-hand side. And then I'm also going to, just because I pulled up everything and it was starting to sort of warp a little bit, I'm going to stitch at the bottom as well, and you'll see that in the close-ups. The other thing that I do off camera is I'm going to work on my title. I wasn't sure where I was going to house that at this point. And I forgot to turn the camera back on when I decided what it was that I was going to do. But I have paper person stickers, sort of a pinky blush. And then I'm going to use that same green for office with a die cut alpha, and the title is going to say back to the office. I am also going to tie into this. I have a really old set of button star dies, metal dies, and I'm going to use that blue that's on the back of those rainbows there, and die cut a few of those little stars and just incorporate 3 of those in. Again, I just needed that shot of contrast and that darkness to tie everything together. So here is the finished layout. Be sure to check the description box down below for a link to the collection, as well as my link over on a cherry on top. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming back. I hope you enjoyed this process video. Come back again soon, and I will see you soon. Take care.